Welcome to Tennessee, nestled in the heart of the southeastern United States, where music reigns day and night. This vibrant state is a tapestry woven with all genres of sound. Bluegrass floats through the hollows, country echoes across the plains, Delta blues seeps from every corner, and rock and roll energizes the nightlife. The legendary clubs along Beale Street in Memphis once hosted the likes of Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash, marking the birthplace of rockabilly's heart. Nashville, the state capital, is hailed as the epicenter of country music recording. Yet beyond the bright lights and lively tunes lies a hidden side of Tennessee, the haunting beauty of its remote mountains and fertile plains. About 40 miles, or 60 kilometers, north of Nashville sits the quaint little town of Adams, population 628, where visitors are welcomed with the famed Southern hospitality. But beneath this serene facade lies a history darker than the deep, shadowy woods surrounding it. 200 years ago, apparitions and horrific events unleashed terror upon a local family, whirling the town into a tempest of fear. Even today, some descendants of that family believe they are still being haunted by a sinister force. Beginning 196 years ago, the Bells were relentlessly tormented by what they described as a spirit. Neighbors whispered that it was a witch, while others labeled it a demon. The legend reverberates through the ages. A tale of John Bell, who, it is said, was poisoned by the entity that called herself Katie. Dark tales are woven around the local caves, where whispers of disembodied voices, wandering orbs, and fleeting ghosts are said to linger. The air is thick with foreboding friends who've dared to venture into those depths, return with tales of an unsettling presence, a feeling that something wicked watches from the shadows. When I went downstairs, I saw a ghost behind the stove, one friend recalled, voice trembling with the memory. I'm convinced something very, very bad was in that house. Some believe it was trapped between two worlds, caught in an agonizing limbo between the earth and the spirit world. Though what it truly was remains a mystery. Cloaked in the whispers of time, the spirit was questioned. Where did you come from? Who are you, and where did you come from? It replied with chilling clarity. I am a spirit, and I have been disturbed. I have been around for millions of years. Its power was palpable, a dark force that never unveiled its true intentions. The Bells, bewildered, could never understand why this ominous entity chose to haunt their family. When pressed about its relentless pursuit of John Bell, the spirit's chilling response was, "He just needs killing." The words hung heavy in the air, an eerie promise of doom echoing through the generations, as the darkness of Adams continued to weave its spell. In the shadows of Adams, whispers of the Bell Witch persist, entwining the town in a web of chilling tales. Residents continue to report eerie sightings, assertively claiming they hear her unsettling echoes pierce the stillness of night. Strange sounds reverberate from the depths of houses and seem to rustle through the woods, and community members attribute every unexplained noise to her malevolent presence. The legend insists she is an eternal spirit, an unrelenting shadow that refuses to fade. While many conjure images of a witch twirling on a broomstick, such quaint depictions fail to capture the essence of the Bell Witch as understood by the Bells themselves. They spoke of not a whimsical figure, but rather a disembodied voice, an entity that slipped like smoke through their lives. Occasionally, the family claimed to witness it, and when they did, its guise shifted. Sometimes it manifested as an animal, creeping stealthily, and at other times, it bore the haunting semblance of a human being, roaming their world as a chilling specter. The neighbors of Adams often found themselves caught in a relentless tug-of-war between belief and skepticism. While many claimed to hear the voices echoing through the night, few ever glimpsed the form that haunted their dreams. According to legend, the spirit would sometimes manifest, though interpretations of those encounters differed wildly. You had your die-hard believers, those who regarded the Bell Witch as an undeniable force, an entity woven into the very fabric of the town's history. On the opposite end, some staunchly rejected the notion, declaring, "I don't believe in ghosts, and I will never admit there's a Bell Witch," their voices resolute and unwavering. Yet woven into the narrative is the story of one of John Bell's sons, a man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Andrew Jackson, the formidable general. When Jackson returned, he was drawn into a confrontation with this elusive entity. While reports suggest he had a somewhat cordial encounter, the malevolence of the spirit remained unshaken, and though Jackson emerged unscathed, his companions were not so fortunate. The scars of that encounter ran deep, and it is said that Jackson quipped with palpable dread, "I'd rather face the whole of the British Army than confront the Bell Witch again." His words lingered, a chilling testament to the entity's dark legacy, and a reminder that some forces are better left undisturbed. The Bell Witch's manifestations were as diverse as they were unsettling, an ever-shifting specter that took on various forms throughout the legend. Some claim to have seen her as a turkey, others as a menacing wolf, and at times she appeared as an innocent little girl swinging in the breeze. Yet, these haunting tales are far from suitable for the faint of heart. For nearly 2 centuries, the enigma of the Bell Witch has captivated and bewildered enthusiasts of the paranormal, weaving a spell that ignites both fear and fascination. By the flickering glow of firesides, storytellers conjure her name, while books delve into her dark legacy. A play breathes life into her tale, and Hollywood has spun its own version of her chilling tale. The threads of fear are woven tightly throughout, pulling listeners into a world where reality and supernatural collide. According to historical accounts, John Bell met his untimely demise under the malevolent influence of the spirit, a claim that stands alone in the annals of American history. To think of it, he is the only person known to have died under the shadow of such a force, a chilling reminder of the power the Bell Witch holds over the hearts and minds of those who dare to speak her name. The legend of the Bell Witch continues to echo through the generations in Adams, Tennessee, captivating hearts and haunting minds. It has gone decidedly viral, igniting imaginations far and wide. This tale possesses all the quintessential elements of a classic ghost story. An old, creaking house where furniture shifts as if possessed, eerie sounds that slice through the silence, and strange voices that seem to materialize from thin air. Such a tapestry of terror is enough to convince anyone that their home is indeed inhabited by something sinister. Let me share a glimpse into the harrowing history of the Bell House in 1817. The Bell family began to encounter a disturbing phenomenon, a presence they simply termed the spirit. As whispers spread through the community, neighbors labeled it a witch, but whatever it was, its relentless torment focused particularly on John Bell and his youngest daughter, Betsy. John, plagued by health issues, quickly found himself the target of inexplicable attacks. It became a bizarre routine for his shoes to inexplicably fly off his feet, leaving his family to scavenge for themings. Meanwhile, Betsy endured a terrifying ordeal of her own. She was cruelly slapped, her bed covers violently ripped away, and her hair mercilessly tied in knots around the bedpost. Among the children, Betsy seemed to draw the brunt of the supernatural onslaught. Night after night, she would scream out in terror, the family rushing to her side to comfort her as unseen marks of torment marred her skin. Curious visitors soon became collateral damage to the malevolent energy that infested the house, experiencing the same terrifying phenomena as the Bell family. John, at times, found his voice stolen from him, as though a thick stick lodged crosswise in his mouth rendered him mute, only for him to regain his speech moments later, as if released from some dark grip of the spirit. This cycle of dread continued relentlessly for 2 or 3 years, until, at last, the unspeakable occurred. On December 10, 1820, John Bell fell gravely ill. The family, alarmed, called upon a doctor, who ominously concluded that he had been poisoned. Whispers of suspicion flared through the household. Who among them might have committed such a heinous act? Was it a member of the family? Could Betsy herself have harbored dark intentions? Did a neighbor harbor jealousy to the point of malice? Suddenly, cutting through the uncertainty, the familiar voice echoed through the home, an ominous declaration that chilled blood and silenced hearts. "I killed old John. I fixed his medicine last night, gave him a big dose of it, and he'll never get up out of that bed." With that confession, the life of John Bell was snuffed out, leaving behind a legacy of fear that would haunt Adams for generations to come. I reached a resolute conclusion. Something undeniably transpired within those hallowed walls, a vivid artifact from the past. A handwritten letter dated 1820, the very year John Bell perished, came into my possession. It was penned by two boys journeying home to their mother after visiting the Bell house, excited to share their experience of the angel that was rumored to reside there. They recalled that on the first night, nothing out of the ordinary occurred, but on the second night, their tone shifted dramatically, revealing their stark transformation. "Mom, it's not an angel, it's the devil." The gravity of their experience echoed with foreboding, suggesting that the darkness lying just beneath the surface of the legend was far more sinister than anyone had anticipated. Part of the legend continues to breathe life through the years, with the Bell family still lingering in Robertson County, their bloodline existing vibrantly to this day. This lineage ensures that the haunting tale is faithfully passed down through generations, keeping its haunting legacy alive. Among those descendants is Bob Bell, who possesses unwavering conviction in the truth of his family's stories. Like his fifth great-grandfather, John, Bob has also become a target of inexplicable occurrences within his own home. I had just settled in and was ready for bed when an eerie silence enveloped me. Bob recounted, his voice trembling with the memory. Then, without warning, I heard the double doors slam shut at the end of the hall. Both doors. One of them was latched, so to hear them both slam required that they be unlatched first. His heart raced as the footsteps seemingly strode down the hall, stopping just short of his door, igniting an instinctual chill that raced along his spine. Not typically superstitious, Bob's mind raced with dread. He feared an intruder had invaded his home, tearing away at his sense of security. I was truly terrified, probably the most scared I've ever been, he admitted, driven by adrenaline. He dashed downstairs, where he retrieved a .45 from the gun cabinet, loading it with grim purpose and cocking the weapon. He was prepared to confront whatever, or whoever, had invaded his sanctuary. Armed and determined, Bob swept through his home with the stealth of a trained operative, treating each room as a potential threat. It took him nearly half an hour to scour the entire house, 2 sets of stairs complicating the search, but despite his thoroughness, he found nothing. Alone and in silence, he finally locked his door tight, a pistol resting on his bedside table, the light casting eerie shadows in the darkness. Sleep eluded him, haunted by the chilling possibility that the family legacy of terror had reached out once more. Many residents firmly believe that the Bell Witch, the dark specter that once haunted John Bell and his family, is not merely an ancient legend. It still roams the shadows of Adams and Robertson County. Reports of close encounters with the spirit linger in the whispers of the community, tales that weave together paranoia and intrigue. Some brave souls ventured into a network of caves that once served as cold storage for local farmers, a dangerous yet alluring labyrinth where paranormal activity thrives in the depths of darkness. These foreboding caves, shunned by the cautionary advice of many, are perfect breeding grounds for the inexplicable. Floors are marked with warnings as casual visitors venture into the unknown, unprepared for the horrors that may lurk within. Among the more renowned caves is one located on the old Bell family farm. While many go in with a hopeful heart, eager to catch a glimpse of the Bell Witch or any other lingering spirit, they might find themselves facing a far more primal threat, cornering a wild animal in its lair, a chilling reminder of nature's unfathomable wildness. Local ghost stories often find their origins in these caves, where unearthly voices, floating orbs, and other sightings entice the curious. A few years ago, within the last 15 or 20 years, a striking incident rippled through town. A photograph captured outside the mouth of one such cave revealed a woman clad in a flowing white dress, her ethereal form materializing in the developed film, even though she had not been seen when the picture was taken. The chilling image lingered in the minds of those who saw it, raising the question, had they truly glimpsed a fragment of the legend, or was it a figment of their imagination, woven from the very fabric of fear and folklore? Betsy Bell and her siblings often found solace and adventure within the cave on their family farm, a place that held both joy and dread. They would recount tales of something sinister lurking in the shadows, always on their heels, an unseen force that sent shivers down their spines. Rumors of a giant fish dwelling just beneath the water's surface had the power to churn the very depths of the cave, heights of terror that alarmed the Bell children immeasurably. One fateful day, during a trip to the river after exploring the cave, Betsy's eye caught something unsettling. A little girl hanging from a tree, suspended like a ghostly vision. Stricken with an otherworldly presence, the girl spoke to Betsy, delivering a chilling warning that resonated deep within her, advising her against marrying her boyfriend, Joshua Gardner. These strange encounters shaped the legend, intertwining the caves with the tale of the Bell Witch, securing their importance in the fabric of the haunting narrative that continues to echo through Robertson County. What mysterious truths lay concealed within those dark passages? The caves, harbingers of both wonder and fear, became a vital component of the Bell family's enduring saga, forever binding their fate to the whispers that drift through the night. I was teaching a local history class at Volunteer State Community College when an intriguing discussion arose about the local caves. The owner of the cave approached me, curious if I had ever set foot in it. When I admitted I had not, he suggested we embark on an exploration, and off we went, delving about 250 feet into the dark recesses. Climbing up onto a ledge with this gentleman, we hoped to catch a glimpse of ancient Indian drawings, our anticipation palpable in the still air. But just as we settled in, the lights flickered and then plunged us into darkness at 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Suddenly, I was surrounded by 10 or 11 history students, their anxious breaths a chorus of nervous energy. Armed only with the feeble light of our flashlights, we groped our way back through the cave, hearts pounding as we made our way toward the entrance. Meanwhile, my young son, only about 6 or 7 years old at the time, was left behind in the care of a lady upstairs. I had insisted he stay put, not wanting him to experience the cave's lurking shadows. Upon our return home, I assumed she must have inadvertently disrupted the lights, but my son clarified, with wide eyes, she didn't move. Amidst all of this, one undeniable presence lingers on in this land. Pioneer and farmer John Bell, still watching over the living, even in death, is interred in the Bellwood Cemetery, where the weight of history and legend entwine, a constant reminder of the haunting tales that shape this community. Alongside many of his descendants, John Bell's tombstone has become a popular pilgrimage site for tourists eager to delve into the dark history of the family tormented for nearly 2 centuries by the Bell Witch. However, the tombstone you see today is not the original according to customs from the time of his death. He would have been interred deep in the forest. Alas, time has erased many of those early grave sites, leaving but whispers of their existence. In my quest to document where families lived back then, so much now reduced to ruin, I sought the gravesite of Frank Miles, a man who featured prominently in the legend as a neighbor and close friend to John Bell O'Brien. I roamed the countryside, driven by determination, but my efforts proved fruitless. I couldn't find his grave. Then, one morning, just after 3 o'clock in July, a peculiar dream beckoned me. Visions of a small grove of trees danced vividly in my mind, refusing to fade away. Mid-morning struck, and suddenly inspiration surged. I knew precisely where that grove lay hidden. I followed my intuition to a place overgrown with poison ivy and honeysuckle, a tangled nest that shielded the secrets of the past. Armed with nothing but my resolve, I cut away the dense vegetation, scraping the dirt away carefully. With a gloved hand, I brushed the remaining soil off, and there, etched into the weathered stone, were the words, Frank R. Miles. A sense of reverence washed over me. I gently replaced the stone, covering it back up as it was, contemplating the gravity of my discovery. This was no ordinary find. It felt almost charged with energy. Some things are better left alone, I thought, a shiver coursing through me as I decided to cease my search for any other graves in the vicinity. Later that night, as I was driving home with my children, an unsettling feeling washed over me. I caught sight of something out of the corner of my eye, an anomaly against the familiar landscape lingering in the twilight's embracing. I felt an irresistible urge to look closer, for the shadows were cloaked in a mystery that pulled me in, heart racing with the thrill and fear of the unknown. I cannot say for certain what I witnessed that night. It was unlike anything I'd encountered before, neither cat nor panther nor dog, but something entirely otherworldly. As I drove down the road, a creature emerged from the shadows, its form cloaked in a haunting blackness, haunting as it approached my car. The air grew heavy, charged with a sense of impending fear as I caught a glimpse of its piercing red eyes. They glowed like embers, burning into my memory as the encounter unfolded. It advanced toward me, then darted off into the night, leaving me breathless and bewildered. I had never seen anything like it since, and the image of that creature lingered, a chilling specter etched in my mind. Just as I was collecting my thoughts, the phone rang, and my grandmother's frantic voice filtered through the receiver, drenched in distress. She pleaded with my father to rush over as soon as possible. With unease, we entered the house, and I can still vividly picture her gripping the phone tightly, an unmistakable fear coursing through her demeanor. I was upstairs taking a nap when I heard this crash, this loud noise, she began, her voice trembling. I rushed downstairs into the kitchen, only to find my china scattered across the kitchen floor. Her eyes widened with disbelief as she recounted the inexplicable scene. "The curious part," she said, "is that there's a butler's pantry between the kitchen and dining room, containing a china cabinet built into the wall with latching doors. Those doors had flown open, throwing every piece of china, every single one, out onto the floor, but somehow not a single piece was broken, despite it being delicate bone china." A chill ran down my spine as I listened. I could almost picture the china, perfectly laid out, as if it had been thrown down carefully rather than shattered against the unforgiving tiles. "I have no explanation for how that happened or why it happened," she mused, still grappling with the unfathomable. And to this day, neither does anyone else. The mystery hung in the air, a ghost unacknowledged, quietly embedded into the fabric of our family history. For anyone who ventures up there in search of the Bell Witch, it is said that they will surely encounter her. In the final chapters of Pat Fitzhugh's gripping book, he recounts his visit to the graveyard where some members of the Bell family lay buried. As he wandered among the weathered stones, a profound sensation gripped him, an overwhelming feeling of presence that lingered in the air, thickening the atmosphere with unspoken stories. Yet, the tales take an even darker turn. A group of adventurous kids, seeking thrills and perhaps a connection to the legendary figure, stumbled upon John Bell's gravestone. Fueled by mischievous curiosity, they decided to bring the stone back with them in their car, but fate presided with a heavy hand. As they drove along the main road, a tragic accident abruptly claimed their lives. The community was left shaken, whispering of a curse, as the story swept through town. The witch had drawn her vengeance upon them with every telling. The legend of the Bell Witch deepens, casting an ever-growing shadow over those who dare to disturb the restless spirits of the past. The intertwining fates of the Bell family, and those who seek their story, serve as a chilling reminder. Some legacies refuse to die quietly, forever entwining the living with the echoes of the dead. The legend of the Bell Witch is a haunting tale, woven through the pages of approximately 20 books, marking it as the most extensively studied case of a haunted house in American history. Among the notable works, one shines particularly bright. Authored in 1894 by Martin Ingram, a Tennessee journalist whose quest for truth propelled him into the heart of the mystery. 3 years prior to the publication, he had penned a letter in the Nashville Banner, appealing to anyone with knowledge about the Bell family or the Bell Witch to come forward, to share their letters, their stories, their testimonies. With an insatiable curiosity, Ingram traversed the vast countryside, journeying through Montgomery, Robertson, and Adams. He sought out locals, gathering their accounts like treasures, each testimony a thread in the elaborate tapestry of the Bell Witch legend. Those who had either heard the whispers of the supernatural or had direct connections to the Bells opened up to him, offering glimpses of a history shrouded in mystery and fear. The depth of their stories added richness to the legend, transforming it from mere folklore into a compelling narrative that continues to intrigue and terrify to this day. Each account he collected illuminated different facets of a tale steeped in darkness, and as he connected the past to the present, the legend grew ever more profound, echoing through the ages. The narrative that Ingram weaves includes a remarkable artifact, a copy of the diary penned by Richard Bell, the younger brother of Elizabeth Bell. At the time when the unsettling events unfolded in Adams, Tennessee, Richard was a mere 7 years old. 2 decades later, Compelled by the haunting shadows of his family's past, he decided to commit those memories to paper, titling his work "Eerie Family's Troubles." Richard entrusted this diary to his son, who then, after another 20 years, presented it to Marvin Ingram with a crucial condition: nothing could be done with the diary until all first-generation family members had passed away. This stipulation underscores the weight of the history contained within its pages. Ingram's book stands out as the most reliable account of the legend, as he meticulously interviewed individuals from the same era, those connected to the Bells, who retained memories of the haunting. Many in the community have come to regard Ingram's first book as the Bell Witch Bible, perhaps due to its age, its authenticity, and the skill with which he wrote. Ingram, a seasoned newspaper publisher, crafted his narrative in the style of the 1890s, an era rich with biases yet littered with vivid storytelling. The book is replete with accounts documenting the Bell family's experiences, detailing how they began to hear strange noises and see unusual animals. John Bell, a man of action, would often shoot at these ephemeral beasts, but they would either vanish into thin air or simply scurry away, unaffected by his aim. The narrative turns grave as it discusses John Bell's eventual demise at the hands of the witch, weaving the tale into a somber lament. Following Ingram's profound exploration, a slew of other books emerged, stoking the flames of legend and illuminating new reports of alleged witch sightings that attracted even more believers. In 1934, Dr. Charles Bailey Bell, John's grandson, ventured a new theory about the hauntings, suggesting that his grandfather arrived in Tennessee from North Carolina under a cloud of suspicion. As farmers, the Bells, like many others, migrated to the region driven by the allure of fertile land. They were rumored to have raised tobacco, and a church from North Carolina made the transition with many of its parishioners, including John Bell, a member of the Red River Baptist Church. However, he was ultimately excommunicated for a charge of usury, an act that may have seemed shocking to someone. Despite his wealth, doubts lingered as to how John Bell accumulated his fortune, sparking criticism in Robertson County. As a prominent figure back in North Carolina, it raised questions about why he would abandon a successful life at the age of 56 to start anew in Tennessee. Various stories swirl around his tumultuous past, accusations regarding the sale of a horse, land, or even the controversial sale of a slave. Whatever the truth may be, these early episodes formed the backdrop for the Bell Witch legend, intertwining his life with the spectral experiences that would haunt his family for generations to come. The Bell Witch is no ordinary specter. She possesses a voice, a rarity among ghosts. She introduces herself as Kate, invoking the name of Kate Batts, a figure shrouded in mystery. The true identity of the witch remains uncertain, and while Ingram recorded that the entity claimed to be Kate, it is unknown whether he ever interviewed any members of the Batts family or those connected to them. Kate Batts had an antagonistic relationship with John Bell, which exacerbates the confusion surrounding her connection to the haunting. Many people believe the ghost is indeed Kate because of the voice she used, continuously referring to herself as such. Yet no concrete evidence supports this assertion. Complicating matters, Kate Batts was alive during the time of the Bell Witch's manifestations, making it improbable that she was responsible for the haunting. My research suggests that she harbored no genuine malice toward anyone, an essential detail in the murky waters of this legend. How, then, does Kate fit into the tale after all? As you've noted, she was not deceased when the manifestations began. Records do not indicate that she ever cursed or felt wronged by John Bell. In fact, their connection was at best tenuous. Legends often evolve through such convoluted paths, superstitions running rampant in an era where the inexplicable was attributed to divine displeasure. In those early days, if something could not be explained, it was believed to stem from human actions or transgressions against the divine. Hence, many inexplicable phenomena were rationalized through the lens of superstition. The dramatic saga of the Bell Witch provides ample material for theatrical interpretation, captivating audiences each autumn. Some of Tennessee's most talented performers come together to breathe life into this horrific legend, ensuring that chills accompany every performance. The play itself is a remarkable production, showcasing local artists whose talents reflect the heart and spirit of the neighborhood. In 2006, attendance swelled to around 1,000 eager spectators over 2 or 3 weekends of performances. By 2012, that number surged to an impressive 1,600, a testament to the legend's enduring allure. Each year, the narrative is reinvigorated as the cast and crew introduce new characters and perspectives that delve deeper into the haunting, often spotlighting members of the Bell family while occasionally weaving in characters from the Batts family. The quality of the performances draws praise, even from those who have experienced theater in New York, with many claiming that the productions in our small community stand shoulder to shoulder with the best they've seen. Each show captures the essence of the Bell Witch tale, intertwining history and horror, ensuring that the spirit of the legend continues to roam, captivating imaginations anew. Curiosity seekers flock to witness the legend of the Bell Witch come alive on stage, immersing themselves in the chilling tale that has captivated generations. When they venture out to Adams to watch the play, many find that strange occurrences often follow, moments they eagerly attribute to the influence of the Bell Witch herself. This allure is precisely why they venture here in the first place. The story, steeped in mystery and terror, continues to fascinate the hearts and minds of all who hear it. The fact that this haunting narrative has endured through the years, remaining relevant and potent after all this time, is a marvel that stirs intrigue in many, as spectators not only watch the performance, but also visit various sites associated with the legend. They might encounter unexplained phenomena, whispers of the past that blur the line between reality and the supernatural. Whether these experiences are truly paranormal or mere figments of the imagination, who can say? Each person's encounter adds another layer to the tapestry of the Bell Witch legend, intertwined with the history that unfolds both on stage and in the shadows of Adams. The boundaries between the living and the dead remain tantalizingly thin, igniting a thirst for knowledge and an insatiable desire to explore the mysteries that lie beneath the surface. The Bell Witch legend is the lifeblood that keeps the town of Adams alive, its shadowy grip drawing visitors in to explore its dark past. Recent phenomena have reignited belief in the supernatural, ensuring the legend remains vibrant and alive in the hearts of many. I came here as an outsider, a staunch non-believer, yet my perspective would soon shift in unexpected ways. Reports of vaporous orgs flickering in the night, ghostly apparitions cloaked in ambiguity, these tales coursed through the community. While many claimed to have witnessed movements punctuated by faint lights, I could only recall my singular experience in the cave, back when the lights extinguished abruptly. A séance took place that night, and with the memory of that unsettling event, shadows dancing in the dark, I hold no desire to return to those haunting depths. Yet, truthfully, I find myself transformed. I become a believer, my skepticism eroded by the weight of others' accounts. Though I have not witnessed these phenomena myself, I have been told stories that stir the depths of my understanding. One newcomer, someone who had never crossed paths with Adams before, vividly described, "I saw this little cloud moving from the cemetery to the second floor of your house." A chilling coincidence occurred when we encountered another man who recounted his childhood along this very road. His eyes widened with recollection as he confessed he had never been so terrified in his life, recounting his own sighting of the same mysterious cloud. As these threads of experience weave through the fabric of Adams, they deepen the enigma that is the Bell Witch legend, and with each new assertion, the darkness beckons, coaxing me to consider what lingering spirits roam this haunted town. What does one make of those ethereal, wispy clouds frequently spotted in this part of Tennessee? While fog is indeed a common spectacle in the region, thanks in part to its proximity to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, just a 5-hour drive from Adams, the question lingers in the park itself, named for the mystical fog that drifts down from the towering mountains, is known for its wildlife, bears, deer. But there have been no recorded sightings of a ghost, let alone the infamous Bell Witch. Legends and ghost stories, however, have a tendency to morph over time, adapting with the tellers. One must recognize the potential for fabrication in storytelling after all, An incentive exists here. While I don't wish to cast any aspersions, it's clear that there's money to be made when capitalizing on the Bell Witch enduring allure. Marvin Ingram, a significant figure in the history of this legend, once started a newspaper in Springfield, Tennessee, before relocating to Clarksville. Alongside him was Thomas, who served as the reporter while Ingram took on the role of promoter. They became part of a community that thrived on outrageous tales, a kind of liars' club where the goal was to see who could spin the most fantastic yarn. In the shadows of such storytelling lies a truth. One can never fully discount the potential for embellishment. Some individuals are drawn to the spotlight, relishing the attention a captivating tale can bring, while others fervently seek to believe, eager to grasp onto whatever piece of the paranormal may lend credence to their experiences. In this interplay of truth and fiction, we find the essence of the Bell Witch legend, captivating yet elusive, forever hovering just beyond the veil of reality. When Marvin Ingram crafted his book, he thoughtfully included a back section listing all the people he interviewed and consulted in his research. Yet, one must consider the foundation of this story. Most of what we know comes through Ingram's narrative. Intriguingly, he never spoke with anyone who had been directly involved with the Bell Witch. Instead, he relied on hearsay, conversing only with those who knew the bells from a distance. In my estimation, the entire tale could very well have been a fabrication, woven from thin air. He never interviewed Elizabeth, nor did he speak with any core family members. Curiously, the boy Richard Bell, who wrote the diary that has become a point of contention, was also left out of the conversation. The Bells maintained tight control over the diary, refusing to part with it until Betsy, another key figure, had passed away. This gave rise to my skepticism. With Betsy gone, the diary finally surfaced, but she was no longer available to verify its contents, or to challenge any claims made about it. Again, this raises questions about the authenticity of the diary itself. To my knowledge, no one has ever seen these diaries, only whispers of their existence float through the legend. With no solid proof, one must remain cautious. There is no compelling reason to believe Ingram couldn't have conjured up elaborate tales from mere imagination. The only anchor we have to reality is the acknowledgement that the Bell family did exist. And with that existence comes the shadows of their story, a story that dances on the precipice of belief and skepticism. Forever entwined in the haunting echoes of history, Marvin Ingram reported a sensational claim that Andrew Jackson himself visited the site of the Bell Witch allegedly. This occurred after Jackson's triumphant conquest of New Orleans, where he claimed victory over the British. The popular anecdote describes his wagon becoming inexplicably immobilized as he approached the town. However, it is important to note that when these tales surfaced, Jackson was already serving as president. His whereabouts were well documented, and he simply was not in Adams during that time. My own investigation into Jackson's journals, echoed by other historians, has yielded no evidence of him ever setting foot in Adams, Tennessee, nor any mention of a confrontation with the witch. The way this legend has morphed over the years can only be described as a hodgepodge of narratives. Elements of poltergeist phenomena, witchcraft intricacies, ghostly encounters, and discussions surrounding both benevolent and malevolent witches have all been layered into this tale. Religion, too, finds its way into the story, a clever device to draw people in and bolster belief. By weaving in elements that resonate with individuals on a personal level, the legend becomes more compelling. Once a relatable hook is introduced, people tend to overlook the more outlandish aspects, instead choosing to embrace the legend as a reflection of their own experiences and beliefs. In this way, the legend grows, evolving into a complex tapestry of the supernatural that continues to captivate seekers of the unexplained. Kids all around Robertson County and throughout Middle Tennessee grow up steeped in the legend of the Bell Witch. This tale creeps into their lives not just through family stories whispered at home, but sometimes finds its way into the school curriculum as well. In classrooms, the legend becomes a living lesson, woven seamlessly into the fabric of their education. I remember a particular game we played that encapsulated the essence of storytelling in memory. I would write something down on a piece of paper, no matter how trivial it seemed, and the first kid in the row would read it, striving to memorize the words. Then, adhering to the rules of the game, they'd turn around and recount verbatim what they had read to the person behind them. This process of repetition continued all the way around the room until it reached the last student, whose task was to reveal on the board exactly what they had heard. It was fascinating, and often humorous, because it never started or ended the same way. The sentences morphed and twisted, the original meaning lost in translation, like a game of telephone, illustrating how easily stories can evolve over time. So I thought to myself, here we have established an unspoken set of rules for telling the Bell Witch stories, highlighting not just how legends are passed down, but how they transform with each telling, shaped by human memory and imagination. This dynamic interplay of storytelling echoes the very essence of the Bell Witch legend itself, continually reshaping as it flows through the generations. Found footage is a well-recognized technique that has permeated fiction, especially in literature and the sci-fi genre. The narrative framework often involves a character stumbling upon relics, be it photos, diaries, or films, that suggest an event of significance has taken place. We're all familiar with the Blair Witch Projecti, where a series of videos are said to reveal what transpired in those haunted woods. We know, of course, that the Blair Witch Projecti is purely fiction. Yet, what we have here with the diary related to the Bell Witch serves as a kind of found footage, albeit without the benefit of actual video recordings from that era. Then there's Ingram, who claims to rely on a source that lacks substantial credibility, a point that merits further discussion. Unlike the Blair Witch Projecta, which places its characters squarely within visual documentation, the Bell Witch tale threads through the murky waters of hearsay and historical interpretation. Everyone has heard of a ghost, a haunted house, or some paranormal event at least once in their lives, and most of us approach these accounts with a mixture of skepticism and intrigue, weighing the evidence before reaching a conclusion. Yet, in the case of the Bell Witch, certainty evades us. No one can definitively state what transpired 2 centuries ago near that quiet Tennessee village. The reasons for the continued sightings that captivate the curious minds of today remain cloaked in theories and speculation, tantalizing threads that invite us deeper into the enigma of the Bell Witch legend, leaving us forever questioning the boundary between myth and reality. Bo found himself deep within the Bell Witch Cave, a site that occasionally opens its doors to eager visitors and sometimes remains shrouded in secrecy. Around Halloween, it was rumored that they would entice the audience with staged phenomena designed to thrill and chill. On one such occasion, Bo, a friend of the cave's owner, was present, capturing the atmosphere with his camera. Amidst the flickering candlelight and an air thick with anticipation, a woman arrived, intent on conducting a séance along with a couple of other photographers. As Bo maneuvered quietly in the background, she caught sight of him, mistaking his silhouette for the very Bell Witch herself. Laughter bubbled from her lips, an ironic twist of fate, as she believed she had glimpsed the spirit of the legend taking form before her. In that fleeting moment, he chose not to reveal his true identity, not wanting to burst their enchanting bubble. Instead, Bo relished the misinterpretation, amused by the prospect of playing an unintended role in the very narrative that had captured so many imaginations. There he stood, a mere observer, entangled in the ghostly fabric of the legend, leaning into the delightful ambiguity that surrounded the Bell Witch's infamous haunt. One fateful night, I found myself staying at my grandmother's house, a place imbued with warmth and memories. I was very young, perhaps only 4 years old, but a compelling urge pulled me from the safety of sleep, the need to venture downstairs in the dead of night. As I descended into the shadows of the dimly lit kitchen, I caught sight of something that froze my small heart. A ghost lurking behind the stove. Even at that tender age, I knew it was a ghost. The logic of it defied explanation. My mind raced, and I conjured an alternative explanation. Perhaps it was the boy from across the street sneaking in to frighten me. Panic set in as I began to cry, the tears streaming down my cheeks as I bolted back up the stairs, desperate to find my grandmother. She came down in a rush, concern etched across her face, but by the time she reached the kitchen, the ghost had vanished, leaving nothing but silence in its wake. I remember sitting on the floor, my head nestled in her lap, crying freely as she comforted me with gentle words, her soothing voice wrapping around me like a warm blanket. It was just a nightmare, she whispered, trying to reassure me, but deep down, I knew what I had seen. The memory of that chilling encounter lingered in the corners of my mind, a ghostly reminder of the thin veil between childhood wonder and the mysteries that lurk in the dark. After that chilling encounter, as I remember it, we returned upstairs, and I nestled back into bed. But sleep eluded me. My mind raced with thoughts of the ghost, restless and persistent. I found myself compelled to venture downstairs once more, guided by an inexplicable pull. And to my disbelief, it was there again, lurking in the shadows. Why did that happen? I often pondered the possibilities. Perhaps it was a nightmare, a fragment of sleepwalking, or even a lucid dream. However, the years passed, and the memory of that haunting night remained vivid in my mind. My grandmother and I would revisit the topic, the words dancing on our lips with nostalgia. I would ask, "Remember when I saw the ghost?" And with a gentle smile, she would respond, "Karen, it was just a nightmare." Yet, in the quiet spaces of my thoughts even today, the image of that ghost feels achingly real. It's this blurred line between reality and the supernatural that fuels belief in such things. The way of the experience lingers, reminding me of how easily the mind can conjure the inexplicable, how memories can twist and transform into something transcendent. This is why people hold fast to their beliefs in the paranormal. Shared experiences, haunting and tangible, leave an indelible mark on the soul, a connection to the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of understanding. People flock to Adams, Tennessee, from every corner of the globe, drawn by the allure of the infamous Bell Witch legend. Even if they leave without having spotted an evil specter lurking in the shadows of this quaint frontier town, they are sure to be enchanted by its unique charm. Come to Adams, they say, and indeed, there is much to explore in this small yet vibrant community. Our motto is year-round country fun, a promise of enjoyment for every visitor. As you stroll through town, you'll discover delightful places to dine, including Adams Station Barbecue, famed for its mouth-watering barbecue and soul-soothing home cooking. And then there's Moss's Restaurant, a beloved spot known for its delectable steaks and sumptuous burgers. Interestingly, this very establishment once bore the name Schoolhouse Cafeteria, and even briefly held the title of Bell Witch Cafeteria, a nod to the town's storied past. In Adams, the history of the Bell Witch intertwines seamlessly with the everyday life of its residents, creating a tapestry that invites exploration and fosters a deep connection to the legend itself. Here, every dish served and every corner turned whispers echoes of the supernatural, drawing all who visit deeper into the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface. Now, we've had our fair share of peculiar incidents out here. Gentle knocks in the stillness of the night, and mysterious sounds that rattle the air. There's this little item up on the wall where we post our tickets, and one day it came flying across the room, defying explanation. No one was near it when it happened, and in good humor, we found ourselves calling out, "Kate, go away. We're busy, we don't have time to deal with you right now." Down the road on Highway 41 lies Red River Canoe, a spot that offers not only breathtaking camping experiences but also thrilling canoeing adventures, along with a cheerful array of festivals held throughout the year. The Bell School grounds play host to these vibrant celebrations as well. Every July, we celebrate the Thresherman Show, a tradition that has thrived for over 43 years. Visitors are treated to a nostalgic journey as craftsmen demonstrate the working of old-fashioned wheat threshers, sawmills, and a blacksmith shop, alongside a collection of antique tractors, showcasing their remarkable capabilities. We also host tractor pulls and numerous other activities, providing a glimpse into the way these artisans operated in days gone by. In September, the festivities continue with the Bell Witch Bluegrass Competition, where lively music and dancing fill the air, invigorating the grounds with energy and joy. To close out the year, we present the Spirit Play in October during Halloween, which recounts the haunting tale of the Bell family and their eerie encounters with the Bell Witch. This event draws large crowds addicted to the legend, making it a bustling tourist attraction each year. I've sold tickets to visitors from places as far-flung as Australia, Sweden, Germany, and Ukraine. How they found out about this local phenomenon, I cannot say. I always thought of it as a cherished regional treasure, perhaps even something national, but international, that took me by surprise. The Bell Witch legend, with its rich history spanning 196 years, continues to captivate hearts and minds, drawing people from thousands of miles away, even those who fly in from overseas, to discover the mysteries surrounding the bells and their haunting legacy. In Robertson County, nestled in the heart of Adams, we have the famed Bell Witch Cave, alongside the historic farmland of John Bell Sear, the solemn Bell Cemetery, and the venerable Bell School. Our journey will take us to the Bell Willett City of Adams Museum, as well as the intriguing Bell Cabin, which is owned by the museum and contains at least a fragment of the original bell house. Behind me stands the last remaining structure from the original bell farm, a storied cabin believed to have been constructed around 1820, precisely during the time of the haunting. This cabin carries with it whispers of history, having been relocated to the grounds of the Bell School in the early 1980s, where it served as a home for sharecroppers until the 1970s. With each timber and beam, it tells a tale steeped in legacy and resilience, offering a unique glimpse into the lives that were once intertwined with the Bell family and their haunting encounters. Visiting this place gives you a chance to delve deeper into the Bell family's history and the spirit that continues to linger in the collective memory of this community. A reminder of a past that refuses to be silenced. On the wall, we proudly display artifacts that tell the story of Adams, with a particular focus on our connection to the legendary Bell family. Nestled in the corner, a poignant portrait of John Bell Jr. hangs high above an array of documents that illuminate aspects of his life. Among these papers are records detailing an extraordinary gift he presented to his oldest daughter upon her marriage, $110 for a horse and saddle, and an unsettling $500 for a slave named Mary. Although slavery was abolished after the Civil War, the value of enslaved individuals had significantly risen. By adulthood, they could be worth anywhere from $1,200 to $2,000. In the center of this collection, we find artifacts associated with John Bell Sr., alongside a delicate drawing of his sister, Betsy. Even in her later years, she appeared to carry the weight of unease, her legacy marked by a profound sense of anxiety. As recounted by one of her great-great-granddaughters, Betsy refused to sleep alone, always insisting on having a grandchild or another loved one by her side. She would sleep against the wall, offering the outside edge of the bed to the child, a tender reminder of the deep-seated fears that perhaps never entirely faded away. This exhibit not only connects us to the family's past, but also casts a revealing light on the indelible marks left by the haunting legacy of the Bell Witch. Adams, Tennessee, derives its name from the local train station established in 1859, and ever since, this quaint town has beckoned adventurers eager to explore its storied past. Signs of its colonial history still linger throughout the landscape, whispering tales of the families that once thrived here, drawn by the riches of the prosperous cotton plantations. Families like that of John Bell. The enduring legend of the Bell Witch continues to captivate visitors, a magnetic force that draws the curious from near and far. Long before the film brought the legend into contemporary consciousness, it was the folklore that piqued interest, weaving a tapestry of intrigue around the town. With each new folklore booklet release or production, be it a movie or a television show, crowds descend upon Adams, their excitement palpable as they seek an authentic connection to the Bell Witch experience. Many come with a mixture of skepticism and hope, compelled to uncover the truth. Does she really exist? These thrill-seekers roam the town, their hearts racing as they venture into City Hall, seeking directions to landmarks steeped in the legend's rich history. They yearn for a glimmer of the supernatural, eager to experience the enigma of the Bell Witch for themselves. Each visit transforming into a quest for understanding that continues to draw souls into the heart of Adams, woven ever deeper into the fabric of its haunting tales. I moved to this charming corner of the world in 1969, drawn in by its beautiful rural setting, my roots firmly planted in a similar landscape. Despite the area's growth, we take immense pride in preserving that quintessential rural atmosphere, and I stand resolute against any attempts to modernize it beyond what it already is. We have a wonderful little town here, reminiscent of Mayberry, with a close-knit community that exudes warmth and familiarity. The foresight of our past leaders is evident in their careful planning, which has helped attract visitors and cultivate the town's unique identity. Today, it's become one of the biggest tourism draws in the county, a true testament to its enduring appeal. What transpired long ago gave birth to the spirit that turned into a story meticulously penned down over the years. From there, it evolved into a legend, blossoming in intrigue and scope. As this legend grew, so did the curiosity surrounding it, drawing more and more people into its orbit. It is a tale rooted in reality, yet distant enough in time to elude complete understanding. Strange occurrences punctuate life in Adams regularly, particularly during the Play and Spirit Week, celebrated on the last 2 weekends of October. We invite you to come on down. You never know what encounters await you in these spirited surroundings, where the veil between past and present sometimes feels impossibly thin. Whenever people come to experience the legend of the Bell Witch, there's an undeniable urge to immerse themselves in the mystique surrounding it. Visitors often find themselves driving past the cave, the old school, or the somber cemetery, yearning to connect with the haunting narrative that permeates this land. However, occasionally, these excursions are followed by inexplicable car troubles. Whether these mechanical failures stem from neglect or are the result of a run-in with the Bell Witch herself remains an open question, wrapped in a shroud of mystery. It's this tantalizing ambiguity that keeps the legend alive, fueling conversations and igniting imaginations as people ponder the whims of the supernatural within this enchanting yet eerie town.